Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're looking at something absolutely crucial, special alert control, and how organizations actually steer through corporate crises. We're talking about massive, world-altering disruptions. We'll examine the exact frameworks businesses use to navigate through, well, absolute chaos, ensuring they don't just survive, but potentially thrive when the unexpected strikes. Section 1. Navigating sudden corporate crises. Okay. Let's dive into this. Have you ever wondered what actually happens behind closed boardroom doors when the world suddenly turns upside down? You know, survival in the business world isn't just about good, steady planning. It's about rapid, strategic reactions to extreme turbulence. So how do companies survive the truly unexpected? I mean, I'm talking about sudden disasters that literally no one put on their quarterly forecast. Think natural calamities, a sudden government collapse, industrial disasters, or catastrophic market crashes. When the unthinkable actually happens, standard operating procedures, yeah, they go completely out the window. Facing the sheer uncertainty of sudden crises is intensely daunting. A sudden disruption drops this massive, imposing question mark right in the middle of a company's carefully laid out plans. And the stakes? They're incredibly high. A misstep here doesn't just mean a bad quarter. We're talking about the complete end of the enterprise. Moving on to Section 2, operational versus strategic control. To understand how organizations actually survive these storms, we first need to look at the architecture of control within a business. Because, you can't just react on the fly. You've got to have systems already in place that allow you to pivot. Basically, there are two main layers of control in any business. On one hand, we've got operational control. This is your day-to-day action. It asks things like, are time schedules being adhered to? Are we utilizing resources properly? It's really aimed at keeping the company's engine running smoothly. But on the other side, we have strategic control, which is all about the overarching direction. Our sources provide this phenomenal metaphor. Strategic control is basically the steering control of a ship. So while operational control keeps the engine humming along, strategic control is up on deck, sensing whether the ship is actually stable on its course, tracking the strategy as it's implemented, and making sure the destination is still the right one. Section 3. 4 types of strategic control. So how exactly do we steer this ship strategically? I mean, it's not just one person blindly spinning a wheel. Let's map out the specific mechanisms that actually make up this overarching strategic steering. Academic frameworks point to 4 distinct types of strategic control. First up is premise control. This one systematically checks whether the initial assumptions, the predictions the strategy was built on, are actually still valid. If those foundational premises shift, well, the strategy needs adjusting. Second, we have implementation control. This evaluates if the ongoing plans and steps are actively guiding the organization toward its ultimate goals, tweaking things as new events unfold. Third is strategic surveillance. Think of this as an overarching, broad-based vigilance. It's designed to uncover any relevant, but entirely unanticipated, information floating around the business environment. And finally, number 4, special alert control. This 4th type right here is exactly where our main topic lives within the larger academic framework. Section 4, triggering special alert control. Now, what's really interesting about this is how we transition from standard, everyday management straight into absolute, immediate urgency. This is exactly where special alert control comes into play, stepping in when standard surveillance simply isn't cutting it anymore. So formally, special alert control is defined as the immediate and intense reassessment of a firm's basic strategy triggered by a sudden, unexpected event. Just think of it like a massive emergency alarm suddenly going off inside the organization. It demands that leadership immediately drop what they're doing, review and reconsider the fundamental strategy before the calamity can fully capsize the ship. To really grasp the gravity of this, let's look at a quote directly from our source material. It states, "Events such as natural calamities, industrial disasters, or a sudden collapse of share prices serve as a trigger mechanism that necessitates a rapid response and an immediate, intense reassessment of the current strategy. Honestly, it is the absolute ultimate test of a firm's agility and its survival instincts." Section 5, crisis teams and rapid response. Okay, so the alarm is ringing. The trigger has been pulled. Who actually handles this rapid steering? And how on earth do they physically do it while the world around them is just spinning? Look, in a special alert emergency, your standard management hierarchies, they just aren't fast enough. The job is immediately handed over to crisis management teams. These are highly capable, super experienced groups within the organization whose sole task is rapidly formulating contingency strategies. They literally take the wheel, oftentimes bypassing normal bureaucratic hurdles entirely just to navigate the unexpected turbulence as fast as humanly possible. Section 6. Case Study, Walmart's Pivot. Let's move to and see how this builds in a real-world scenario. We're going to look at one of the most prominent recent examples of special alert control in action, which is Walmart's massive operational pivot during the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. When the pandemic hit, Walmart didn't just sit back and adopt a wait-and-see approach. No way. They activated a rapid strategic response. Back in January 2020, as cases first began appearing in the U.S., they were already tracking CDC guidance closely. Then, by March 2020, they had implemented strict protocols. We're talking deep cleaning stores, enforcing social distancing, and heavily prioritizing the well-being of their associates and customers by following advice directly from chief medical officers. And by spring 2020, recognizing the massive shift in consumer behavior, they aggressively strengthened their supply chain to meet truly unprecedented demands. They proactively steered the ship to make absolutely sure their business wasn't hampered. So the crucial point is that this wasn't just about weathering the storm, it was about executing a strategy so well that the company fundamentally succeeded in a brand new environment. Because of this decisive special alert control, by May 2021, Walmart US saw their operating income increase by an incredible 26.8%. That was alongside a 6% increase in comparable sales and some major market share gains in the grocery sector. And honestly, this next figure brilliantly illustrates the technological success of their contingency strategy. As part of their rapid strategy reassessment, they leaned heavily into digital delivery. By April 2020, the Walmart grocery app registered a staggering 460% growth in average daily downloads compared to just 3 months prior. To put that in perspective, that's absolutely massive. They recognized the sudden change in the environment, they reconsidered their strategy, and they executed a flawless contingency plan, quickly becoming the leading downloaded app among all shopping apps. The thing is, the business environment is never truly stable, right? The next massive disruption is always just over the horizon. So I want to leave you with this to think about. How would your organization handle a special alert event? Are your crisis teams ready to take the wheel at a moment's notice? Or is your strategy just a ship, waiting, unprepared for a storm? Thank you so much for exploring this fascinating topic with me in this explainer. Keep learning and stay agile out there.